mandatory minicamp today. CeeDee Lamb not there. Waiting for a contract extension, especially on the heels of Justin Jefferson's monster deal. Here's Mike McCarthy.
CeeDee's status, and have you had any conversations with him or expect him here to see him before?
CeeDee's not here today. CeeDee in all those types of situations, he's in a business situation. You know, everybody's engaged, and I have no qualms or don't lack no confidence as far as our vets being ready. He's been engaged. I can just tell you that he's been engaged. And then that's my word for the day. I said it 6 times. So engaged.
Okay. Friend of the show, Dave Hellman. CeeDee eats $100K by missing minicamp. He'll make $950 per week on his current deal. His next deal will guarantee him $100+ million. So of course he's not there. Brewy, put a grade on this.
A grade?
No, that's not.
Well, it's an F for the Cowboys. Fans shouldn't be worried because he's going to get paid. He'll be there this year. Jerry should be worried because yet again, Jerry Jones has proven to not be a good negotiator. All right? He waits too long and then overpays because he waited too long. That's what happened with Dak's first deal. You waited too long. Remember there was talk, would you give him $28 million, $25 million? There was talk about that. He ended up having to give him much, much more because he waited so long. All right. Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, he held out, gave him $90 million. I don't know if that was based on the weight, but just giving him $90 million at that point as a running back was not a good move. And so I think they will sign CeeDee. Had you signed him earlier in the offseason, when A.J. Brown's $84 million was the most guaranteed for a receiver, maybe you'd have got him for $90 to $100 million, guaranteed. Now that Justin, or probably $90 million maybe. Now that Justin got 110, what's he going to get? At least $100 million. That's what CeeDee's going to want, and that's what they're going to give him. So, yeah, he'll be there for the Cowboys fans, but Jerry just blew it again.
So, listen, I want to be fair because Brandon Ayuk also missed mandatory mini camp today, but I understand what the Niners are doing. I understand why the Niners haven't paid him because they already paid Debo, and they are, so they have another year of Ayuk, and then they might franchise tag him. Maybe they'll franchise and trade him. Who knows? I understand what Cincinnati's doing. They are saving their big money for Jamar, who I think they should have signed him already as well, but he doesn't seem to be in quite the rush that CeeDee is, whether he should be or shouldn't be, and they don't want to have 2 massive contracts long term of the position. I don't understand what Dallas is doing. You are going to pay him. You don't draft and develop first-round players at premium positions. They overachieve, as CeeDee has. Even whatever the highest expectations for CeeDee Lamb were, he has overachieved. Mm-hmm. He has been healthy, he's been available, he's been productive. To delay paying him, to, as Jerry put it, only let more leaves fall, is bananas. And by the way, I know this isn't quite the topic, but it's related. The Justin Jefferson contract not only impacts the CeeDee Lamb contract, it also impacts the Micah Parsons contract. Because if you look at the Justin Jefferson contract, you know what was very clear?
Yes.
He was trying to become the highest paid non-quarterback. And what he had to eclipse was Nicky Bosa's deal. Well, now Micah is going to try to do the same thing and try to eclipse Justin Jefferson's deal. So you're going to end up in Dallas with probably $36 million a year-ish for Micah, $34 million a year-ish for CeeDee, and $70 million no matter how excellent those 2 players are. No, I'm saying those 2 numbers combined. Those is having $70 million a year for 2 players, neither of which is a quarterback. I don't care how much the cap goes up, it puts you in a bind. And so there was just no reason not to get this done already. There was none. I get why they haven't signed Dak, because I don't think they're going to. I disagree with certain people on this. I think they're going to wait and see how he plays this year. You know you're signing CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
So there is no benefit to waiting, and it's just making it more expensive.
You don't think?
Okay, well, that's pretty interesting because Nick Wright before guaranteed that the Cowboys are going to extend and sign Dallas Cowboys, that they have no choice and that he's going to get paid, $60 million a year. And now he seemingly has changed his mind on that, which is all good, because I guess as time has unfolded, it's gotten clearer. But again, I'm not going to keep ranting about this, but this whole wait and see how he plays this season is just doesn't make any sense to me. It just makes zero sense to me. I don't know what the Cowboys are doing, quite honestly, because right, like Nick and I really agree with really everything Nick has just said there, because it really doesn't make any sense. If you know you're keeping Micah and you know you're keeping CeeDee, like, why would you not sign them? And sign them immediately. You want to do it as quickly as possible. So and as easily as possible. This is not easy now. This is now messy. This is now a distraction. Missing the mandatory minicamp and like all that type of stuff. I understand it's just minicamp. Like, I get it. And there always seems to be two schools of thought to that, where it's like it's not that big of a deal, and other people say this is the biggest deal ever, right? Like it's always that one or the other. I'm not going to say that it's the biggest deal, but I'm also not going to say that it's no deal, because you want, and this has been a common theme for me this offseason, talking about all their teams, is you want clarity. Your organization needs to have clarity. Okay? This is not clear now. The Cowboys have no clarity, and it all matters. Not having Dak figured out, not having McCarthy figured out, not having CeeDee, not having Micah. You have so many other players and pieces within that franchise that need to do their job, that they do their job. There's a reason why they're not stars. One, they're not good enough, and two, they're often not as resilient to the ups and downs of what a season can bring, of what just being part of an NFL team can bring. You see this actually very well on Hard Knocks, because they highlight a lot of players that are not the mega stars. And you could see how just even training camp gets to them, how they can't even show up on time. Like, you see that. You see that when they're not in a perfect environment, they can't do what needs to be done. And it's not a lack of will. It's just, they just don't have it in them. I mean, Hard Knocks does a great job of highlighting that. And so when you have some of these messy situations unfolding, it only makes it harder for those other players now to not be able to feel within rhythm. Because now they're like questioning, well, what's happening with the Cowboys, right? They're not united under this vision of, hey, if we put in the work, we're going to succeed. Especially a lot of these younger guys, they still very much buy into that. Right? It is very brainwashy, where it's very much like, put in the work and we're going to win. You're part of the Dallas Cowboys. This is a special franchise. We put in the work. We do everything. Look at all these rings we have. Look what we are. We're the most popular team ever. We're the most wealthiest team ever. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And people are like, yeah, great. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm a Cowboy. It's an honor to be here. Let's go, let's go. And then now they're more willing to do those little things, to show up on time, to put in the work. They want to fight so badly to get there, to stay with the Cowboys, to do all this type of stuff. And now when you take the opposite, you're like, well, who the heck's the quarterback? Is Mike McCarthy going to be? Mike McCarthy's been talking to me a lot, but like, is he even going to be the coach in week 8, or is he going to get fired? Like, is CeeDee Lamb here? Like, what's going on? And it's just lack of clarity. It's just messier. And now you don't know where you are. And now you start talking about that type of stuff, rather than what type of work you have to do. In fact, a lot of conversations I could had then end up being, well, don't worry about what's going on with Dak. Don't worry about what's with CeeDee. Worry about you. And the fact that a coach now even has to say that is distracting, is already deterring away from what the ultimate goal is. And again, you can look at these other teams that made very concrete moves, whether it be the Houston Texans, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the 49ers, right? The 49ers just signed Christian McCaffrey to a massive deal. It just gives clarity. Clarity. In fact, it's actually why the Bills did this, and I disagree with the move they made, but I respect what they were trying to do. When they extended Sean McDermott, when there was some drama going on around McDermott, they extended him to let everyone know in that franchise, he is the coach. We're not going through this season through this idea of, is he going to get fired? What's going on? Is the team turning on him? He is the coach. And it's clarity. It matters. It really, really does. And the Cowboys are just offering a master class in how to just make a vision and a franchise as unclear as possible. And it's just very hard. Maybe the Dax can overcome it. Maybe the Micahs can overcome it. But the farther you get away from that elite status, it gets harder and harder and harder for these other players to be able to succeed in that environment. It's why dysfunctional organizations struggle so much, right? It's you can still put a star. You can put a Patrick Mahomes in the most dysfunctional organization. He might not be winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl, but he'll still be able to succeed to a large degree. But a lot of these other average players, the second and third string players, or even the starters who you just have no idea who their name is because they're not making all the money in the world, it's harder for them. And we see that again and again and again. And to me, this is why the Cowboys are really struggling. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Should the Cowboys fans be worried? Should the organization as a whole be worried? Like, I in recent memory, I just can't really remember an offseason being this messy for any team, let alone the Dallas Cowboys. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.